Today is primary day across Pennsylvania, which means our first look at the new congressional districts in action. On Monday, we touched on governor and lieutenant governor and Senate races with Dr. Kyle Kopko from Elizabethtown, but he is back with us today with more on the congressional races. Kyle, thanks for coming back with us. I want to focus on the Republicans in the new 13th district. There are 8 Republicans vying for the seat, which is the geographical area that Bill Schuster is leaving. What do we make of this many people vying for the GOP seat in this primary? This has been a GOP stronghold for a long time. It's a very conservative district, but 8 people? That's crazy.
It is. It's a very crowded field, and it's the most crowded field out of all the congressional races right now in Pennsylvania. But it's also a relatively safe seat. This isn't going to change Republican hands anytime soon. So it's a great opportunity for someone to have a lengthy career in Congress, which is why I think so many folks want in this election.
It does have Adams County. It picks up Adams County, which will that have an impact on this race at all in terms of who wins this primary, you think?
It depends on who the primary voters are who turn out in this election. And because of the redistricting that just happened because of the state Supreme Court's decision, there's still probably going to be a fair amount of confusion among some voters. So it really depends on whether the folks turning out understand the nature of the new congressional district, if they've been paying attention to some of the advertisements and polling and all these other types of things.
Is there any way to handicap that race?
I would give maybe a slight advantage to the 2 members of the General Assembly, John Eichelberger and Stephen Bloom. They obviously are already office holders. They do have some name recognition. They're used to campaigning. They know how to fundraise. But really, with that crowded of a field, it's anyone's race.
The new 10th district, I want to switch gears, talk about the Democratic primary in this one. The new 10th, that's Dauphin County, the West Shore, Cumberland County, and Northern York County. Scott Perry's incumbent district, he'll be the one that they're facing in November. How worried should the congressman be given the new district?
I would still give the advantage to Scott Perry here. He's still going to have to run an effective campaign. He can't take this for granted, but still it's a little more competitive than what it was in the past. But he still has an advantage.
Is there any way to see a Connor Lamb situation in this case, like what we saw with the special election out in March?
I don't think so. The 4 candidates who are running on the Democratic side seem to be more liberal than Connor Lamb. And what happened in the 18th congressional district, and now Lamb's going to run in the 17th district because of the redistricting that just occurred, it was really a candidate-centric campaign. He really wasn't running as a national member of the Democratic Party. He was running as someone who was a military veteran who understood issues in Western Pennsylvania. I don't think that we're going to see that type of candidate coming out of the 10th.
So with Connor Lamb, what we saw with that race is that there is some sort of an anti-Trump sentiment in at least parts of Pennsylvania. We saw that with him winning there. And right now there are 94 candidates that are running for all the congressional seats, which it's a great deal. What does that say about the state of the state?
I think that the Democrats are definitely more energized this time around, and this isn't anything new necessarily. It's traditionally the case that the president will lose seats in Congress in a midterm election, that there is going to be more mobilization by the opposition party. So the big question is, will this sustain beyond 2018?
Does that fall down to the state legislature level? Because in that case, you have, I believe, 78 races where a Republican incumbent, they have over 100 houses, 100 seats in the state house. 78 of those seats will be challenged come November in the state legislature. Does that have a trickle-down effect in terms of what you call a re-energized Democratic Party?
Normally in Pennsylvania politics, we don't see that many contested races for the state house. But I think that this is all a product of the national political environment where the Democrats are a little more energized than what we've seen before in the past. So it is going to be more competitive for members of the General Assembly. I'm not expecting Republicans to lose control of the General Assembly this November, but they are going to have to work a bit harder.
It should be a very interesting day as all the results come in later today on this midterm primary day. Dr. Kyle Kopko from Elizabethtown College, thank you so much for joining us
on
the Fox 43 Capitol Beat, and we will be back with more news after this.